Hi, ServiceNow roles and ACL is a part of a big domain, which is a ServiceNow Security Center, and there is one major component under this ServiceNow Security Center, which is ServiceNow roles and ACL. So in this role, there is a role attachment, which is a major thing. Whenever you create a ServiceNow ACL rules and configuration, it start with a role, and then it also start with ACL rule configurations and ACL rule type, and then what kind of application or scope applications you are going to apply it. So why it start with a rule, not start with a business rule? Why the ACL is not integrating directly to the business rule? Because think about a broader perspective. You have 800,000 users and they are continuously interacting 24/7 with ServiceNow. And if you attach business rule to the ACL, then every second that business rule is going to run. And it actually creates a big system and performance issue, because on top of this business rule, there is also other business rule that is also running and some custom business rule that you already created. So in order to reduce this overloading thing, it actually create a kind of a length, which is a role, and through these roles, it actually attaches the ACL, because in this way, ServiceNow instant can is the whatever the user interactions and ACL rules to cache memory, and through that cache memory, it can run the ACL now and then, and it's not gonna hamper the performance issue. So that's why it is start with a role, and then we can configure or attach the role to the ACL rule. So that's the main scenario. The second scenario is that ServiceNow ACL configurations and permissions, which include the core functions, key principle, and configurations steps. And then also there is a scope identification, condition definition, permission setting. That means what kind of operator you are choosing, and testing and evaluation. So this kind of thing is your implementation step kind of thing. High security activations, which is a default system property, but you can deactivate it, but that's not a recommended thing. So this is a high level view of the implementation. If you want to implement or change some service scale, you can start with core function and key principle, which also include what kind of things on the default deny, which is a by default ACL, and what is the least privilege scope, privilege things that you want to add. And based on that things, key principle, you need to build up these configurations step. And so that's the thing. And the other one is very important, which is start with the ACL rules type, which is a deny ACL configuration is start, and then second one is stable ACL configuration, and then third one is the field ACL, and fourth one is the wild card ACL configurations. So what is here actually after Xanadu release, it actually start this new phase. This is a deny ACL configurations. The deny ACL configuration, you can compare it with the before business rule, as we are familiar with business rule. So as we know that before business rules run before the form is loaded up. So here the deny ACL is like that. It actually run before the ACL rule, before the ACL rules run. the normal ACL rule, which is a table, field, and wildcard. That's why this priority is first evaluation, and it's a severe priority. And then the evaluations order, which is after table, that's the field. And then another one, the wild ACL, which is a pattern matching kind of thing. You can practice it in the scope applications, and it's very interesting if you apply it instead of using code and other things. You can apply this wildcard ACL in scope application. Here we, in order to understand these things, we actually just fictitiously create an enterprise use case, which is the HR data governance, and we are going to be going details on that thing on the next slide. So here you can see that on the enterprise use case, we have rule 1, which is the employee profile rate, and also there is a rule 2, which is a salary recorded rate, and third one is performance review create. So this is a read, this is a create, this is a read. Then the rule 4 is the read operator, which is employee profile salary rate. And the rule 5, which is a performance reviews comments. And the rule 6, which is the deny salary record list. So here you can see that how the deny ACL is going to apply. So we can apply on the rule 6. So here in the HR data governance with ACL is a bit elaborate than the previous slide. So here you can see there is a rule number 1, which apply to this table, which is read access, and the rule number 2, and the rule number 3, which is the write operators, and there's a custom table, and then rule number 4, rule number 5, and here we use the ServiceNow is server-side script syntax, so we can form a script by using this method for evaluating the ACL. And the last one is deny ACL for specific scenarios where we can apply use salary records, a custom table, and we can apply the deny ACL here. So we can say that only the senior HR manager or HR admin can see it. Otherwise, it is going to be denied ACL. There's no access to the table to other HR employees or HR representatives. For the details of these things, you can read the ServiceNow table and columns digest, which is more than 350 subscribers, and it's the very unique ServiceNow digest in LinkedIn. And I put a link here so that you can read details of these things on the latest editions of ServiceNow table and columns digest.